How's it going today, guys? I got a fridge I want to show you. So BougeRV sent this out to me. I've been looking for a fridge for the truck for a really long time because I'm tired of taking ice. If you know anything about Overland and camping, ice is a really annoying thing to deal with. Usually you got to pay big money for a cooler to even hold ice for a long time. So I've been looking for an actual portable fridge and freezer combo because, as you guys know, Ash and I are going to be living out of this truck. So I needed something a little bit more sustainable, a little bit more permanent than going to get ice all the time. So hopping into this is the BougeRV 48 quart cooler and freezer combo. So on this side, I have a freezer, and on this side is my, on this side is my fridge. You can actually switch it up and you can completely customize this. So you can have a fridge on this side, two big freezers, a freezer on this side. It doesn't matter. You can control whatever the temp is, so you can make it exactly how you want it to be. I'm gonna bring you guys as close as possible. I want to see if I can get the mic to pick up what this sounds like when it's running. It's pretty quiet because the idea is gonna have this in my back seat, so we really don't want something loud and that puts out a lot of heat. This doesn't really put out much heat, and it's not very loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I wanted to come a little bit closer. I've been testing this out for, I don't know, probably about 4 days now, making sure that one, it's good enough for me and it will fit the needs that I was looking for. And for two, it's good enough for me to show you guys, because I'm really picky about showing you guys stuff if it's not gonna, be good enough for me. So I've been testing this out, and the main thing I wanted to test out is, one, does it keep my stuff cold? That's pretty important. And two, how much power does it use? I'm gonna hop into that real quick. Talking about power here, I run this off my Jackery using the DC port because it's a little bit more friendly on the battery, and I don't want to waste power using the AC inverter in the Jackery. But there's two separate options you can run this refrigerator on. You can run it in eco mode, and you can run it in max mode. In eco mode, it pulls about 35 watts when it's running. Once it gets up to the temp you have set, it does shut off, so it's not like constantly a 35 watt. It only kicks on when it needs to, like a normal fridge. So it's not going to sit there and draw that power all the time. Same thing goes for the max mode. When I was testing, it got up to about 65 watts when it was running. And once it got up to temp, it kind of kicked off and didn't draw any more power. It was at zero. And then it only drawed power once it started, to kick on and cool that down when the refrigerating unit needed to run. But that's a big thing when you're out on the road. You don't want something that's taking a ton of power. 35 watts on the road is super easy to manage. So was 65 watts if you have a decent enough power unit. But there's also so many different ways you can power this. Not only can you run it straight off a DC, and that means you can run it off your car outlet on the inside, but you can also run it off AC, and that means I can run it off my bed outlet right there. Also, there's a direct solar input as well. So if you have a solar panel that has enough power, you can just use that solar input and power this as well. So there are so many different ways to power this, and I'm a big fan of that. Then there's a bonus option that you can order for like $180 or so, an extra battery that goes right in the back here that can run this fridge for, I think on the website it said about 6 to 8 hours. So you're gonna have its own little battery pack built into this. That's not very common to see on these fridges. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm probably gonna end up picking up one of those portable battery units just to give me a little bit more extended life. Because if we want to, not have this plugged into anything, that's going to be a big deal. But having so many different ways to charge this and keep it powered is awesome. Another thing is it's also a cooler, so you can put ice in it. I was curious to see how that holds up as a, as a cooler rather than a portable fridge. So I let this get up to temp. I had it, the refrigerator side set at about, I think 32, and the freezer side set at -2. I let it get up to temp, ran it for about 2 hours. And then I shut it off. I put some beer in there, and I put some popsicles in the freezer side over this 4-day testing. When I was doing that, I just wanted to see how long it would last before I would need to turn this back on. Now, I was in the house, and in the house it was probably about 70, 68. It's kind of been warm the last couple of days, so it wasn't in direct sunlight. But I will say that it stayed cold for about 12 hours. My beer stayed cold without this running. And the popsicle stayed cold for, I want to say, about 7 hours before they started getting a little soft. So that's just my testing. It will vary, if it's in direct sunlight, obviously that's going to be a little bit hotter. But with it just sitting inside, if you need something, if your power goes out, you can get this up to temp using a Jackery, unplug it, keep your food good for, I'd say, at least minimum of 12 hours of it just sitting in here with no ice, nothing, after you had it down the temp. That's just for my testing though. Sorry that was kind of long-winded. I just want to let you guys know of all the details that I tested the last couple of days. But going into the features of this, because this is less of a portable fridge like you see like the Domestics and whatnot that are just a big square, almost look like a deep freeze, this keeps the look of a cooler. So you got the wheels, you have this attachable handle thing that, you know, can extend to give you more leverage on that. When this is full, it's going to be pretty heavy. It's also got that detachable battery you can put in there. It's got cup holders on the top there, a little area to actually use this as a cutting board. If you open this up, they give you a cutting board in here that you can set right there and go ahead and cut stuff up. Pretty neat it comes with this. You don't really see that very often. It also has a bottle opener on the back right there. So this thing is feature packed, and I've been a big fan. I really like how rugged it is and that it's more of a cooler shape and style than a portable fridge like the Domestics and the Icyco and the other brands that kind of look like deep freezes. This feels a lot more rugged and like I'm not taking my fridge from the house out into the woods. I'm really excited about that, and the way it's been keeping the temp has been awesome. I want to go ahead now and talk about some of the features of being able to control this. You can connect via Bluetooth and connect to this fridge and take care of a lot of the settings if you're up in the tent or at the fire and you want to make sure your beer is extra cold or you want to shut it off. You can do that right from the app. And there's a couple different ways. Like I said, this is a dual unit, so you can have a freezer on this side. So right now I'm running -2 on this side and then 32 on this side. And there's a lot of room in here. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer and show you all the room. But on this side, there's a ton of room in here. Enough room for me and Ashley to have our food for at least a week, I'd say, and our drinks, and still be comfortable. And then if we really wanted to, we could have some freezer stuff on this side. It's plenty big enough to have anything that we would need frozen on this side, but I don't really see us doing that too much, so I'll probably just run this as another fridge. It also has lights built into it, which is a super awesome feature. If you are out camping and you go in there and you're looking for a beer or a pop or anything, you can get right in there and be able to see what you're looking at. And man, the light's starting to get away from me. Sorry about that. But BougeRV was also cool enough to send me out their cover to keep this cooler a little bit more insulated. This is going to be a game changer if this cooler is out in the sun and just all around making it way more efficient. I'll open this up for you guys. But if you see here, it's all insulated to make sure that cold air doesn't escape and the warm air doesn't get in. I'm a big fan of this, and I'm glad they sent this out. I haven't got around to testing this out yet, but moving on in the future, every camp video, I'm going to be having this with us, and we're going to be living out of this. So I'm also going to be running this as well. So there's going to be an ongoing, long-running review of this portable fridge on the channel, and you can see it being used in real time. I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to run this instead of those Walmart coolers I was running for that last year. It was so annoying to have two separate coolers. One was so cheap that the ice would melt in about a day and it would fill up with water, and then my food would get all watered. I had to throw a whole thing of cheeseburgers away. And the other one I just used for drinks, and it was just so annoying to dig your hand. It was like one of those big deep ones. Dig your hand in there and into the deep ice and have a cold hand. Super annoying. I'm so excited to be away from ice. Can't wait to take this out on some trips and show you it in action. Thank you, BougeRV, for sending this out to me. I'm going to continue to do a long-running review on this. A link is in the description if you're interested in this. Let me know in the comments if you guys prefer the old school style coolers or you guys rock a portable fridge like this. Just curious to see how many of you guys would rather just deal with ice and deal with power. For me personally, I'm done with ice. Super excited to be running this. Hit a like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my beautiful face and me camping and testing this out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Do me a favor, check this video out right here. It's pretty good, and I'll see you in the next one.